Hello, my name is Stacy Ford and I am a brand new Close to My Heart consultant, and I am doing this video today to show you a technique with a stamp from Close to My Heart. Before I show you that, which is going to be this little, it's going to lead to this box right here. I'll show you that closer in a second. Let me start by telling you this project was made possible using the new Art Philosophy Cricut cartridge. It's exclusive to Close to My Heart. It has 700 images, which is roughly the equivalent of not one but two Cricut cartridges, of their normal cartridges. It coordinates with several stamps and can be used in so many more ways than even that. So it's really a great cartridge to have. I found in the few weeks that I've had it that it's my go-to over and over and over again. I truly love it. Now with the Cricut cartridge, you will also get 3 of our D-size stamps. Okay, they have a celebrations one, and it has, let's see here, it's a party time. It's kind of hard to, I don't know if you can see that or not, but they have the little date and time and place. It's also got to and from right here, okay? And while I've got it up there, if you can see that star right there? Well, next to that star, it says 1 inch. And what that means is that when you use your Cricut cartridge, you cut that star out at 1 inch, and then you use the stamp, and they match up perfectly. It's a perfect fit. Real quickly, I'll show you, just in case you haven't seen these. It comes with the first one I've shown you, and this stamp set, as well as this one. It's got "You're Invited" and "Thank You" and a couple of other really cute ones that I don't see very often. It has a "Remember When" and a "Congratulations On" type stamp. Now, along with the cartridge and the 3 D size, which are our larger size stamps, you also get coordinating chipboard elements. These are the dimensional. These are the mixed shapes. Okay, and if you look, let's see. Well, it's popped out, but if you see this one right here, not only can you cut out on your, sorry, I'm going off screen here. Can you cut out on your Cricut this? Then you can layer it onto this chipboard element. And, well, this one right here, it's that big one right there that'll layer on top of it. So you can use these elements as well. So you get this set, you get the Dimensional Elements banner set. It's got the popular banners on it. And then you get a tags, Dimensional Element tag set, and they're all in here. I haven't used them yet. They've just popped out of the cardboard. Which, you know what? There's also a great project you can use with just the background sheet of this too. So I'll have to do a tutorial on that as well. Okay, so what I've done for my project is I did use the Cricut cartridge. On page 22, let me get there real quick. I have cut out this little box right here. Okay, you would hit its font layer, shift, because it's in gray. And then I did it fit to page, which turned out to be 11 1/4. Okay, I cut that out, and then I also cut out this flower shape, which is the flower that we're going to use today, that we're going to make it 3D or dimensional. Okay, I cut out 8 of these because I'm going to need 4 per flower, just so you know. And this is on page 57. And again, you're going to hit that shape, and then you're going to hit shift because of where it's located at. Okay, so now to show you that project real quick, this is what it ultimately looked like. Okay, This is just tulle from my local craft store. Everything else is a close to my heart product. That's the only thing that I haven't used. And this box does not require adhesive to stay together. What holds it together is the ribbon and the little tabs slip together on the inside, okay? I've used 2 stamp sets. Down here it says, Thinking of You, and that comes from one of our A-size stamps, and this is $6.95, and this is a blossom set. I don't know if you can see that or not. Says Thinking of You, and then it has a flower, and then Our Thoughts and Prayers Are With You. And this one is A1121. Okay? The other stamp set that I used in order to make the leaves and the flowers is a B stamp set, which is $9.95. It's called Just For You, and it's $13.98. That's B1398. And it's like this. It's got that stitched flower, and it comes with 3 petals, a leaf, and then a center. Now, the stitched flower and the center both have cutting measurements for you to coordinate with your Cricut. If you don't have a Cricut, you can certainly fussy cut this or use it in a multitude of different ways, just straight on your card or your layout. You're certainly not restricted to having this only if you have a Cricut. So, okay. So what we're gonna make today are these little flowers, okay? Oh, and one more thing, this little, this ribbon right here is actually our seam binding ribbon. You get 10 yards of this on a spool, 10 yards. And the cool thing about this is, even though it's white, you can add color to it. You can use your re-inkers, you can use your ink pad, markers if you want to. You can even stamp on this, which is really cool. I hopefully will be showing a tutorial soon about how to do this in a couple of different ways. It's really fun, and you can get as many colors as you have ink pads out of, so it's a great value for your money. Your ribbon will always coordinate with your project. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna come over here and pull out my stamp set, which I've already done, and get organized. And I've cut out, again, I cut out originally 8 of these to do the 2 flowers. You need 4 per flower, okay? And I'm going to use our cocoa ink. This is a very dark brown ink. It's great if you don't want black, but you still want it to have some depth of darkness to it. This is a great shadowing ink as well. Okay, I'm just gonna take and ink up my stamp. And what you do is you kind of just line it up with the clear blocks, makes it so much easier. Okay, press down. And let me do the other one. It's kind of hard to look so far away from me here. I'm trying to get it really good. Now remember, these are handmade crafts, so perfection is overrated. You want it to look like you made it by hand, that it didn't come out of a machine. But these are relatively very easy to line up. Let me show you that. Isn't that cute? I will tell you, you could use a background stamp and then stamp your stitching lines, and that would be cute as well. If you had a favorite background stamps like polka dots or something. This is a very, very versatile stamp. You could use it in a multitude of ways. Okay, so now I'm going to stamp my petals. And I'm using 2 different colors to make this flower. I'm using Lagoon, pretty little blue color, and Cotton Candy. Now Cotton Candy is a little bit darker than what you'd think it would be, but it's a really, really pretty color. Start with Lagoon here. And just for time's sake, I'm going to alternate colors on this. Actually, you know what? I'm not. I'm going to go ahead and stamp them straight out. So let me start with the Lagoon. I'm going to show you. Doesn't take long at all. You just line it up, poke it right down in the middle. And I'm being quick here. This ink does first go on a little darker. It dries just a little tad lighter than when you first put it on. But these colors are nice and vibrant. They're really rich in pigment and very pretty. I've gotten some stamps, some ink pads in the past, and they look so pretty on the outside, and then I go to stamp and they're like all washed out. And you gotta do like 2 or 3 coats of anything to get any real good color going on. Not so with these. They're beautiful right off the bat. Okay, I'm gonna switch out here. Now, make sure when you're using your stamps that you clean them properly so that they last a lot longer and give you a better shelf life. These are high quality stamps. And they're gonna last, but if you take care of them, they're gonna last even longer. Okay. Move that out of the way. And then here's our cotton candy. Help if I had my flour there. This reminds me of a quilt pattern. Now you could do, like I said, a variety of things with these flowers. One of the things that I want to try is cutting out every other petal and then layering 2. Would be cute as well. Have that color poking through. Could certainly lay this flat. You don't have to put the stitching lines if you don't like them. Or, not that you don't like them, but if you just, you know, prefer to do a project without them, you could certainly forgo them. Okay. Now, I am new to all of this, so learning to talk and do a craft at the same time is kind of interesting for me. So, you bear with me. Okay, now what you're going to do is you're going to take some mist or some water if you don't want it to have shimmer. I want this to have shimmer. And we sell a 3-pack of these misters. This just happens to be the one from my stash, but we have the same exact thing here. And what I've done is put a dollop of shimmer paint into this along with a little bit of alcohol and a little bit of water. And with that, it's going to give me a very shimmery look. It's also going to wet my flowers so that I can curl them. Let me move this for just a second. Don't want to get that wet. Okay, and just shake it real good and go ahead and give it a good squirt. Nice and saturated. Sorry, somebody's emailing me here. Okay, give them just a second for that water. You want that water to penetrate to the backside too, to break down the fibers on it. Okay, then you're gonna take your heat gun. If you don't have a heat gun, again, Close to My Heart does sell a heat gun. If you don't have one, you can let it air dry. But if you do that, spray it on the front and then turn it over and spray it on the back because you want it to curl up like a flower. Heat gun's gonna make it curl naturally. And you do want it to curl, so you want to hold your heat gun down a little closer than you normally would. Constantly moving it so you don't scorch your paper. Okay. Those are nice and dry. Yeah, you want to constantly move that heat gun so you don't scorch your paper. Bring back my, that's my son and my daughter. It's kind of busy though, so I'm going to cover it up here. Now I've already done 2 others. And they are already pierced through the middle. So what you're going to do is take, I have a piercing tool, again, another tool from Close to My Heart. If you don't have one of these, I highly recommend it. They are great. It's an inexpensive tool. It's $5.95 and so inexpensive for what it does. I'm going to place these down. I'm going to go ahead and stack them up so I only have to pierce once here. Okay. Then I'm just going to stick my pokey tool in the middle, protects my surface with this pad. Gonna roll around just a little to make the hole just big enough to get my brad through. And speaking of brads, when you know I didn't grab it, let me grab that real quick. And this is just a brad from my stash. Okay. Get that out of the way. And I'm going to stack them by color preference. I'm going to start with the Blue Lagoon, which will end up on top. Cotton Candy. Maybe. There we go. Blue Lagoon again. And then Cotton Candy. So now I've got my pattern on there. But my flower, you know, even though we heat gunned it, it's still a little flat. And we really want to give it that dimension. So how we're going to do that is we're going to pull out, I'm going to pull out my washcloth. Some people use a box. I'm not spraying all over the place, so a washcloth works very well for me. I'm not worried about my surface. And I have a protectant mat underneath too, so. Okay, so here's the fun part. You're just gonna drown it. Now, your inks will bleed if you use a whole lot of ink, a whole lot of water. I kind of want that. I wanted the shabby chic look. If you do not want them to bleed, spray them, let them alone, and they won't bleed, okay? But with this, it's gonna bleed just a little bit, and the top one's gonna bleed more than the others. You kind of make it into a cup and repeat the process. And just keep going. One more time. And just a little bit on the end. And this is the fun part. You can make your flower look however you like. Whatever is pleasing to your eye is going to be what you do. And at this point, you just fiddle with it. Give it a good crease in the middle, just wrinkling it up there, and then gently release it back out. Be gentle because your paper is wet now and you don't want to tear it. By the way, this is stamped on Colonial White cardstock. Okay? Now, you take your heat gun. When you hold a heat gun close to wet paper, it causes the wet paper to shrink up. So if you have a piece of paper bent in a certain way, when you hold that heat gun close, it's going to cause it to stay that way and tighten, which when you're making a handmade flower is a good thing. You want it to look like that. And if you didn't like it and you got a crease and you're like, oh, I don't like that way, you can always spritz it again and reheat it. You can do it as many times as you need, just remembering to be gentle. And then that is your flower. Okay? So thank you very much, and hopefully I will see you again soon in another video. Bye now.